Happening right now, DC is facing a moment unlike any we've seen before, a high-stakes, politically charged turning point that's raising alarms across the nation. Right now, the nation is watching a dramatic power shift unfold after President Donald Trump's sweeping order to take control of DC's police force. It's day 2 of the fallout, and the numbers are already in. Good evening. Thank you for watching the news at 4. I'm Simone D'Alba. Monday night, 850 federal officers and agents surged into the city, making 23 arrests and seizing 6 illegal handguns. Those numbers are not out of the ordinary, but the charges range from homicide and firearms offenses to narcotics distribution, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, DUI, reckless driving, and more. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called it, quote, just the beginning, promising a month-long crackdown on violent crime in the district. But local leaders say it is a dangerous overreach. Council Chair Phil Mendelson is speaking out on the surprise deployment of the National Guard.
But what's more damaging is this suggestion that there are roving bands of youth, that we are one of the most dangerous cities in the country, if not the world. The statistics bear otherwise.
And today, the pushback moved to the streets. Protesters rallied at multiple locations across the city, including DuPont and Scott Circles, demanding the reversal of Trump's order and defending DC's right to self-govern. Tonight, we have live team coverage looking at what this all means for you, whether you're in the district, Virginia, or Maryland. Let's begin with our Matt Gregory, who just heard D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro after the district had its 100th homicide of the year. Matt?
Yeah, you know, Simone, today when we were talking to Judge Jeanine Pirro, she sort of parroted a lot of those DC's crime is out of control things we heard from the president yesterday. Now, statistically, that just doesn't bear out. But we did go out and talk to some of the folks who've lived in DC for decades, right around where this 100th homicide happened. And they said, yeah, DC's crime, by the way, is not doing great, but it's not the worst it's ever been. And they don't think this federal intervention is really needed. So we'll take you through where we were today, because last night around 7 o'clock, Monday night, 12th and M, that's when the 100th homicide happened here in DC. Now, this is a milestone that's quite gruesome and not great. It's a drop from the same time last year, but it still puts DC above pre-pandemic levels for homicides. Now, today at a news conference, U.S. Attorney for DC Judge Jeanine Pirro brought in photos of DC's child and teen homicides, the victims there, from 2024 to 2025. And she said she wants to hammer down on young people and gun violence. People in the neighborhood where the landmark killing happened last night say they don't need federal intervention. They think, hey, we just need more local police. Take a listen.
I don't think somebody can just come to Washington, D.C. and effect a big change by just, you know, it's on the police. The police need help.
And I want to send a message that we are going to catch you, that we are going to change the laws, that if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, we're going to bring you into the justice system.
Okay, well, you know, that all really begs the question when we talk about these things. Judge Jeanine Pirro, how can you conceivably do that? That's what we asked her. You'll hear her answer coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. But for now, Judiciary Square, Matt Gregory, back to you.
Boy, a lot of people curious to hear what she has to say about all that. Matt Gregory reporting for us. Thank you. The White House recently compared DC's homicide rate to international cities, making us look like one of the most dangerous places in the world. But when you compare Washington to other large U.S. cities, the numbers tell a more complete story. Last year, St. Louis had the highest homicide rate in the country, more than 54 per 100,000 people. New Orleans and Detroit followed in the 30s. Washington, D.C. was 4th on the list at 27.3. It is still higher than Atlanta, Indianapolis, Richmond, and Chicago. But cities like Compton, Oakland, Dallas, L.A., and New York all came in lower. Happening at this hour, National Guard troops are at the D.C. Armory. They're reporting to carry out President Donald Trump's order to help address crime in the city. Our Melissa Kim has been staked out at the D.C. Armory in Southeast D.C. all afternoon. Melissa, what have you been seeing there today?
Well, hey there, Simone. For the most part, it seems to be a pretty typical day here at the D.C. Armory. Outside of National Guardsmen and women that we've seen come in and out of the building, the most activity has been food delivery drivers on the food truck that you see over my shoulder behind me. And but what we do know is that D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and U.S. Attorney Pam General Pam Bondi met earlier today behind closed doors, and afterwards Attorney General Bondi posting on social media that the meeting was productive. Meanwhile, both Mayor Bowser and DC Police Chief Pamela Smith say they're going to make sure federal presence, including the National Guard, is used effectively, because at the end of the day, according to Chief Smith, DC and federal officials have a common goal in mind. That being said, she also wanted to clear up who she takes orders from.
I answer to Mayor Muriel Bowser. Let me just say this. Let us not have any controversy with that, okay? Because I know people want to build upon and create division. We're here to work together with our federal partners, and that's what we're going to do.
I should also note that there is a lot of media here, local, international, and national reporters. And this Armory headquarters area has really become the media headquarters area as well for everyone that is covering Trump's takeover of MPD. We're live at the D.C. Armory tonight. I'm Melissa Kim, WUSA 9.
You know, that was quite the statement, clarifying many things, with Chief Pamela Smith saying very directly, I answer to Mayor Muriel Bowser. Melissa Kim reporting for us tonight. Thank you. Meanwhile, the federal takeover of the D.C. Police Department is still sending shockwaves all across the DMV. And today, Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich weighed in on this issue. He also expressed concerns about President Trump's plans to move people who are homeless out of the city. Our Lionel Donovan is in downtown Rockville, where he caught up with Montgomery County's executive. What did he have to say, Lionel?
Good afternoon, Simone. Well, Executive Elrich says this entire federalization of the D.C. Police Department is completely unnecessary. And he says that the president manufactured a crisis that doesn't exist. But like you were saying, policing and crime aren't Elrich's only concerns. When it comes to the president's comments about removing those experiencing homelessness out of D.C., Elrich says that he hasn't heard anything from the White House about a plan on where those people would go or if any resources would be provided to them. He said Trump's approach is especially problematic for his county, which borders the district and is already dealing with a 32% increase in homelessness.
We already see people coming from the district. It's always been, porousness on that border in Silver Spring. I'm sure Prince George's County has the same issue. So we're aware this could happen, and we're concerned because we do a lot, but doing what we do, always has us stretched. And if we got a significant number of new homeless people, that would really be a burden on the system we have.
Now, Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin, who represents the majority of Montgomery County in Congress, says he's also responded to the MPD takeover and announced a plan to reverse course. We'll have more on that at 5. But for now, we're live in downtown Rockville. Lionel Donovan, WUSA 9.
All right. Appreciate your reporting for us tonight. We'll see you soon, Lionel. Thank you. You can count on WUSA 9 to stay on top of new developments on this story in the coming days and weeks. Be sure to download the WUSA 9 Plus app to watch extended coverage of President Trump's news conference. We have that streaming right now.